Hi everyone, happy Wedding Wednesday. Cheers. My name's Lindsay. Today I'm opening a bottle of bubbly in celebration of my favorite day of the week, which is Wedding Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we bring free new content to you. You can subscribe by emailing us at weddings@mode-event.com to get on our newsletter and get more in-depth video access. Today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of couples try to avoid, which is the dreaded wedding budget. Dun dun dun. Feel free to pour yourself a glass of something. I don't know if it's the morning or night when you're watching this, if you want to grab some coffee or some tea. I prefer bubbly. Whatever you can do basically to make the planning process more enjoyable. What is the average cost to spend on a wedding? That is always one of the first questions asked when the wedding planning process begins. The average cost when Googling is determined by the average highest cost, which can be quite high, such as 400 people in the city, with the lowest cost, such as 30 people at a restaurant in the suburbs. Where you are / what market you're in also comes into play, just like a lot of other industries. In reality, it truly depends on your taste and your standards. How casual or formal you want your wedding day to be and how many guests you'd like to host. Also, location can be a factor, as well as the day of the week and time of year. If you click on this link below, you can actually see the average costs for weddings around the United States. I will grab a sip of my drink while you take note of that. A fun fact about this study is that 1/3 of couples have been using a day of coordinator or wedding planner like myself. The amount of smart people is growing, huh? If you're currently working on your wedding budget and you're a little stumped in terms of how to allocate funds, email us at weddings@mode-event.com. We would be happy to take a look at it and provide some insight for you. If you are truly needing to stick to a tighter budget, the best way to bring costs down is to bring your guest count down, plain and simple. When putting together your overall budget, consider who is contributing to the budget. Traditionally, the bride's parents would pay for the ceremony and reception costs, and the groom's family would pay for the rehearsal dinner. Nowadays, it's more common to see the couple pay for the majority of the wedding, if not in full. Consider items that pertain to you, to your guests, and the logistics to make it all work out. An important thing to remember is considering all of the activities and events that might surround the actual wedding day. Examples can include the bachelorette parties, bridal showers, engagement parties, post-wedding brunch, things like that. Don't forget all those little details, they add up. Having a budget is so important because it really helps you keep track of your spending, making sure that you're not overspending, most importantly. It's important to know what overall number that you're working with. That way you can break up the cost and allocate them to each vendor category, including the venue. Budget breakdowns are important because they act as a guideline, so you are held to a certain amount and you don't get carried away. My favorite example is the florist. I personally love flowers, so I know that when I personally walk into a florist studio and start talking to them about my vision and my dreams, I'm able to tell them everything that I want, but providing a hard number is useful to them because that allows them to know what they're working with. A lot of couples get turned off when a vendor asks what their budget is. This question is not to price gouge you. This is not to see the maximum amount of money that they can get from you. This really does let them know what they're working with because, example, floral, I've seen couples spend $50,000 just on flowers. I've seen couples spend $2,000 to $3,000 on flowers. So there are vendors out there that have minimum budgets that they have to work with in order for it to be worth their time because they get so many inquiries. So it's really important to know what the starting point is and see how far they can push the envelope and then where the actual ceiling is. As you start booking vendors, you might be able to see if there's wiggle room in some of these categories. Again, let's say you fall in love with a photographer that's $1,000 outside of your budget for that particular field. Maybe you can save $1,000 in the food and beverage area. Maybe you don't have a champagne toast. Instead, you get the photographer of your dreams that's going to be capturing photos for a lifetime. I'm going to give a little plug here for wedding planners. Yes, you are spending money on hiring a wedding planner. That said, it is truly an investment. Yes, I'm biased because I am a wedding planner, but it's investment because we are now your champion. We are here to protect your money and see the most that we can get for your money, for you. We are knowledgeable of the market, let's say. We are knowledgeable of what is fair in terms of the market and the value of what you're getting. We all like saving money. Speaking with vendors actually reminds me of the process of finding an apartment or a home, because you tell the real estate agent or the broker, hey, I'm wanting to spend this much money. Usually they will, from my experience, show you places and locations outside of your budget. And again, this isn't necessarily to price gouge you, but this is to show you all of the options. And if you see the value in spending more, you will. And if you're really held to a specific budget, you can just say, you know what? No, I really need to stick to XYZ. So they try to give you a little peek into what else they can do for you. Essentially what they're doing is trying to educate you on your options. You can be pinning things on your Pinterest board and send them over to the florist and say, this is my wildest dreams, my wildest wedding vision dreams. They'll come back to you likely and say, okay, well, this is $1 million wedding. Are you prepared to spend that much money? And if you are, fantastic, give me a call. I would love to help you. I would love to help you anyways, regardless of your budget. But my point is that you need to have a number to then come back to and say, oh, okay, well, I wanted that to be my wedding vision. How can we make something similar to that or make me feel the same way as I'm feeling when I'm looking at those photos, working with, let's say, a $50,000 floral budget or $20,000 floral budget. Maybe it's even $2,000, $3,000 floral budget. You have to make it very clear to them what you're able and willing to give them. From there, they can say, okay, well, yes, this is $1 million wedding, but with XYZ budget, we can at least get the same color palette. Maybe we can get the same flowers, and they can work through the process with you. This link here is also helpful. It's a helpful resource that we've used just to kind of give you a general gist of what couples are doing on average throughout the United States. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you so much. We will say goodbye. Thank you for another wonderful Wedding Wednesday. I hope that this video was informative and helpful. And if you have any additional questions, we can send you more insight. Just email us to get on our mailing list. It's weddings@mode-event.com. We hope you have a great night. Bye. Wow, that was loud. Ooh, you can hear the bubbles. Can you hear that? I'll try this once and for all to get this. It smells good. I need that.